A very warm good evening to those who have joined the session. I welcome you all to CSAP, to the first class of prelims capsule for upcoming APSC exams. I request everyone to wait for a couple of minutes, 1 or 2 minutes, so that a few of the students can join in the session. And we'll be starting the session from 17:05. Okay, we'll start the session from 5 past 5 p.m. So I request everyone to wait just for 1 or 2 minutes and then we'll start with the session. Thank you, everyone. A very warm good evening once again. If you can hear my voice, please write yes in the comment section. Some of you, if you can just write yes in the comment section, if my voice is audible and clear enough for you to understand. Okay, thank you, Kakul. I hope it is clear and audible for everyone to understand my voice. All right. Okay, thank you. So I hope every one of you have joined and we are good to begin with the session now. As you all know that in the last class, we had already discussed about the few basic strategies of how to crack the APSC prelims in the upcoming time period within a very short time of period. I'll be taking the questions also. Okay. So Ayushi has asked, where should Assam history and geography be covered? Please tell. Assam history, you can take our smart books. We have covered it very well. Assam Geography, there is a book of Tahir and Ahmed. It's a very good book, in fact, and Assam yearbook. And we have compiled the important points from those sources also in our notes. We have taken reference from those sources. So you can check our smart books, or if you have the books like Tahir and Ahmed, Assam yearbook, you can also cover it up from there. Okay, and at the same time, current affairs will be very, very important this time. Okay, so you definitely have to be very comfortable with the current affairs and geography. Like if you ask me, not only Assam but even of the national level or international level, what I prefer is like this time, you can expect good number of questions, like 4 to 5 questions from map based questions. Okay, because map based questions is one of the very common and favorite topic of UPSC. And since APSC has already showed in their sample papers, and also by uploading last 5 years question paper of UPSC, that they are interested in following, or they are getting inclined towards UPSC format and trend. So today's class, because I believe I have been personally telling my students since 2018 that APSC is soon going to be following the same pattern like UPSC, and that is what actually happened in 2019 November when the notification was out. And this time I'm very optimistic. Those who are following me and following CSAP, for you, everyone, I would like to tell you that this time, what my instinct is saying is about this time we can expect some, at least a good number of questions from map based questions. Okay, at least 3 to 4. And if you are thorough with the current affairs, definitely those 3 to 4 questions will be a very uh, easy ones for you to grab the marks. Okay, so today's session, in fact, we are starting with map based questions. Okay, and Lena, see, is the smart books enough? I will never tell you that only one source can be enough for the exams like civil services. Okay, it can never happen. But if you go and run after a lot of sources, you will never be able to consolidate your preparation. Okay, consolidation is very important. No source is enough for civil services. In fact, if I ask you, for example, the like spectrum publication, is it enough for modern history? Obviously it is not enough. Okay, but if you study one source and revise it 10 times, it will help you to crack the exam. Okay, so you try to follow it accordingly. And I will not say that our smart books are enough. Okay, some things definitely 100% questions will never come from any source. Okay, whatever it is, not even from our smart books, not even from any other institutes notes, or maybe any other standard reference books. Okay, so I request everyone to follow any source. Okay, all sources are good. Okay, if you're following any source, follow any source, but make sure that you revise a lot many number of times from that particular source. Okay, that is very, very important. All right, so let's move ahead now. And as I already told you, that we'll be taking up the map based questions. And today, in today's class, what our target will be is to cover up. Okay, is to cover up last 6 months. Okay, last 6 months, whatever topics have appeared. Okay, in our for example, in our current affairs. Okay, in our current affairs, we will try to take up those topics. Okay, from the map based questions. And last time also we know that your we know that last time there was not many number of questions from geography in APSC. Okay, but this time, as the exam syllabus has changed, the pattern is going to change. They are going to follow up. Okay, they are going to follow up from UPSC pattern. So definitely there is a very good chance that the map based questions will be we will be able to see. And even if the direct questions are not coming, it can, if you have the knowledge, it can definitely help you to eliminate some of the options. Okay, so whatever we'll discuss in today's class, I'm not very sure whether we'll able to complete it up or not, but I'll try my best. Okay, to complete it up. So in between, I'll not be taking many doubts, but I assure you that in last 5 to 10 minutes after my part is over, I'll take up the questions. So I'll also request everyone to not put up questions between. If you have some doubts, you can put up. I'll keep on noting down, and I'll take up the questions at the last part of the session, because in between, if I keep on taking the questions, it will make the session get delayed, okay, and it will take up a lot of time. So okay, there is one more question about, okay, Garibi Hatao slogan 4th ne 5 but this is not at all related to what we are discussing right now, so I will request you not to put up such questions. Maybe we can discuss in the economics, but still, since this is the first question coming up, John Rastrabadi, okay, your name is okay. So Garibi Hatao slogan, in fact, was taken up during the fifth 5-year plan, okay, as far as I remember. So it was, you can recheck, but it is the fifth 5-year plan will be the answer. All right. So all right. So let's move ahead without wasting much time. Okay, we have already taken up almost 10 to 15 minutes have gone from 5 o'clock. I will try to wrap up the session within 1 hour to 1.5 hours. Okay, not more than that, because I don't want to take it a very long session. I will try to take up very frequent sessions. Okay, 3-4 sessions per week, and we'll discuss all the subjects, okay, from a current affairs perspective and the most important questions from the upcoming APSC prelims. And then at last, in fact, we will analyze after the APSC prelims is conducted, that what will be the common questions or from all the sources that we will share with you, from our test series, from our smart books, from this series of lectures of most probable questions for upcoming APSC prelims. Okay, I will take up more than 1,000 pointers topics with all of you. Okay, in this duration of 30 days, we will be discussing at least 1,000 pointers or topics. Okay, from upcoming APSC prelims perspective. Okay, so let's move ahead now. I'll take up all the questions, as I already told you. I'll take up all the questions at last. So I will request you, okay, not to like, if you can keep on asking the questions, but I'll answer you at the last. Okay, I hope you'll understand that. All right, so I'm sharing the screen with all of you, and we will move ahead with the mapping session, okay, which is very important from exam perspective. So let me just take out the file. Okay, I will be sharing the screen with all of you, and so the first map that we have in front of us is about the Persian Gulf. Okay, it's about the Persian Gulf. Now we know that this is in news throughout a long time period. Okay, and it will be in news in the upcoming time period. So Persian Gulf has been always an important part. So what are the things that you need to know about the Persian Gulf? Is about, first point is that which are the countries in border which is sharing a border, okay, with the Persian Gulf, if it is being asked. Okay, so you definitely need to know that the Persian Gulf is sharing the border with Iran. You can see here that this is, now you know that Persian Gulf is actually sharing its water with the Arabian Sea, okay, which is a part of the Indian Ocean, then merges with Indian Ocean. So you know that when we come this side, this is the Gulf of Oman, okay, and this is the Strait of Hormuz. Now this is a very important strait. I hope you understand what is the definition of strait. Now we'll not go into the technical details of the subjects in this sessions, okay, because this is only about the probable questions or probable topics that can be expected from in the upcoming exam. So we cannot go and explain in details. For this, we already have the lectures in our app, okay, subject wise it is available. All right, so Strait of Hormuz, we all know that the Strait of Hormuz is one of the most important strait. Again, we know that this place is entirely oil rich nations, okay, from where India is second largest importing oil importing nation in the world from this area. Okay, so if you see the countries, okay, one specific observation that you need to make here is that you see here that the Strait of Hormuz, okay, is separating which two countries. All right, so if you see the map, you can see like that this UAE, okay, United Arab Emirates, and this is Iran. Okay, so Strait of Hormuz is separating UAE and Iran, but that is wrong. Okay, Strait of Hormuz is actually separating Iran and Oman. Okay, but if you see Oman here specifically, so you can tell me that Oman तो यहाँ पे खत्म हो गया है उसका border, but this portion is also owned by Oman. Okay, so you should know this, that Oman and Iran is actually getting separated by Strait of Hormuz and not Iran and UAE. Okay, otherwise, so once you enter through Gulf of Oman, okay, Gulf of Oman, you get the Strait of Hormuz, okay, which is also a choke point, and you know that in this area there is a very important port. Okay, in this area there is a very important port. Can anyone tell me what is the name of this port? It is a Chabahar port. Okay, it is a Chabahar port where India's interest is also there, which was developed by India, the first phase. So now after the sanctions of America is there on Iran, okay, because of the nuclear developments, so there are certain tensions going on between about the development of the Chabahar port, but we'll not go into that as of now because this will be only a map based class. So the Chabahar port is here on Iran, okay. Then on the eastern side of Chabahar port in Pakistan, we have the Gwadar port, okay. I'll tell you about the Gwadar port also in today's class. So Strait of Hormuz, you enter directly in Persian Gulf. Now please see the countries carefully. Iran is there, okay. Then Iraq, okay, a small portion of Iraq is there in the Persian Gulf, and then we have all the GCC countries, okay. You know about the GCC countries. There are 6 member countries. It's a homework for you. Please study the 6 member countries of GCC. Okay. So then we have Kuwait. Okay. Then we have Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Bahrain, UAE. Okay, and Oman. So these are the boundary or the land. Okay, around the Persian Gulf. So if you start from Iran, okay, then we have Iraq, then Kuwait, then Saudi Arabia. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 5 is Bahrain, 6 is Qatar, 7 is UAE. Okay, so 7 countries are the bordering nations of the Persian Gulf. Very, very important. Okay, very, very important. And the homework for you is you need to know the member countries of GCC. All right. Then the next important, which was in news, is about the 8-degree channel. Okay, is about the 8-degree channel. I have a map to show you from the internet, okay, and you can see here, okay. So this is Maps of India website, okay. I'm referring to this website. This is a very good website to refer to the maps, and you can see here that this is the Lakshadweep Islands in India. We're going to the second topic, important topic, okay, and here you know that the southernmost, now you know that Lakshadweep is an archipelago, You know what is archipelago? In fact, it may be also asked in APSC exam. Okay, it is a group of islands. So you can see there are various small islands, and this is all together combining. It is your Lakshadweep. Okay, Kavarati is the capital of Lakshadweep, and you can see here that the northernmost island of Lakshadweep is the Cherabaniani Reef. Okay, these are all coral reefs. Now, if you do not know what is coral reef, it is there in the environment lectures, but we can discuss later on, not now. Okay, so you please try to remember Cherabaniani Reef is the northernmost, but the most important is the southernmost island of Lakshadweep, which is the Minicoy Island. Okay, and Minicoy is the southernmost island. Okay, a small group of island among it. Okay, it is the Minicoy Island, and there are various channels. Okay, what is this channel? This is nothing but these are the latitudes. Okay, these are the 1 degree from when it starts from 0 degree, both northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. Okay, it goes in the northern and southern hemisphere, 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree, so on. So it reaches the 9-degree channel. So 9-degree channel is between Lakshadweep Islands itself. Okay, so please do not get confused. 9-degree channel is between the Lakshadweep Islands, but 8-degree is actually between India and Maldives. Okay, and if I tell you 8-degree channel, to be specifically, it is between Minicoy Islands. Minicoy is a part of the Lakshadweep Island, and below this 8-degree channel, we have the Maldives. Okay, and since I have already shown you 8 and 9, so let me also show you the 10-degree channel. Okay, which is also very, very important from exam perspective. Let me just zoom in so that it is easier for you to see. So we have already understood 8-degree and 9-degree, right? So let me also tell you about the 10-degree channel. Okay, 10-degree channel. So you see here we have now come to Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Okay, this is also a map of Andaman and Nicobar Islands. This is from the Wikipedia page of Andaman and Nicobar. So you see here that there first, before let us first go to the 10-degree channel. So you see that here we'll see about, this is the 10-degree channel. I hope you all can see it. Okay, and this 10-degree channel is actually separating the Nicobar Islands from the Andaman Islands. Now this has to your, if you know, this has been already asked in APSC prelims. Okay, it has been already asked in 2016 or 17 if I'm not wrong. During that time period only it has been already asked. 10-degree channel separates what? Okay, so it separates Andaman from Nicobar Island. So it is also between India itself as 9-degree channel. Okay, so you see here now some of the remaining areas. If you see here on the northernmost, okay, this is the Bay of Bengal area. I hope you all know this. Now there is a Coco Channel. Now this is very, very important. Okay, now this Coco Channel is separating India from Myanmar. All right, so this is also very important. Okay, this both Alexandra Channel, but Alexandra Channel is actually between Myanmar itself, because there are two small islands like Great Coco and Little Coco Island. Now this both belongs to Burma. Okay, and then we have the North Andaman starting, which is separated from Myanmar, that is the Burmese islands, okay, by the Coco Channel. So this is also a very, very important part. Okay, you need to know that Coco Channel is separating the Burmese small islands from our North Andaman Island, which is a part of our Andaman and Nicobar Islands. All right, so I hope you'll remember this. Then, as we know that there are certain extinct volcanic islands of India like Norkadam Island and Barren Island. Okay, these are your Barren Island volcanic islands. Now, apart from this, if you see that there is also a very famous Ritchie's Archipelago. Okay, it is also part of our Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Okay, so you need to know that Ritchie's Archipelago is present where? It can be asked anytime in the exam. Okay, it is present in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. All right, so it is a part of the Indian Ocean, because the questions on islands is one of the very common question that we can see. All right, after that, if you just see from the north to south arrangement, you can see here that North Andaman is at the north. Then we have Middle Andaman. Okay, we have the Middle Andaman. Then we have South Andaman. Okay, we have South Andaman, and then we have Little Andaman. Okay, sometimes you might be even asked to arrange this from north to south. So एकदम ऊपर क्या है? North. Then we have Middle. Then we have South, and एकदम नीचे क्या है? Little Andaman. Okay, and there is also one more famous Duncan Passage. Okay, and this Duncan Passage is separating what? South Andaman from Little Andaman, and the capital Port Blair of Andaman is located at South Andaman, that you need to know. Okay, apart from that, you need to know about this Ritchie's Archipelago, very, very important. And there is a very famous peak at North Andaman, that is a Saddle Peak. It's a mountainous peak. Okay, and you can know about the Saddle Peak, which is present in the North Andaman. Okay, that is a very, very important part. Now these are extra informations I'm giving you, because my intention was only to show you the 10-degree channel, because it was already asked in the question. But since we are already covering the map of Andaman and Nicobar, so I'm also giving you certain extra informations. Okay, so Saddle Peak is also a very important part of North Andaman. At the same time, we have certain famous ports like Port Cornwallis, okay, who was a Governor General of India, who had introduced the permanent settlement in the early part of in the later part of 18th century. Okay, after Warren Hastings, Lord Cornwallis had become the Governor General, and on his name we have a port on North Andaman. Okay, so you have to remember about the Coco Channel. Please do remember about Coco Channel. Okay, separating Myanmar from India. Okay, then we have the Ritchie's Archipelago and Char Huge Rose. Okay, then we have the this north to south arrangement: North Andaman, Middle Andaman, South Andaman, and Little Andaman. And Little and South Andaman are separated by the Duncan Passage. This is also very important. Then Andaman and Nicobar is separated by the 10-degree channel. All right, and in Nicobar we have Car Nicobar, which is the northernmost island. Okay, and there are various archipelagos, group of islands in the in the Nicobar part of island group. Okay, then after Car Nicobar we have the your Little Nicobar. Okay, and then Great Nicobar. Okay, so you can see this north to south arrangement also. Okay, and you see here that this Nicobar and Andaman Islands are also surrounded by Andaman Sea. Okay, so you can, if you see here that Andaman Sea is separating the Andaman and Nicobar Islands from the Southeast Asian countries, because on the eastern part of this Andaman Sea we will have the Southeast Asian countries. All right, so I hope you have been clear with this part. Now let's move ahead. Okay, let's move ahead with the next thing. Now there are also where, since we are already talking about the islands, okay, since we are already talking about the islands, you can also see about some of the very important islands of the Indian Ocean. Okay, sometimes you might be asked a question about arrange the following islands from north to south or east to west. Okay, so you need to know that there are some important islands in the Indian Ocean. For example, we know about Lakshadweep, we know about Maldives, we know about Reunion Islands. If you have heard about Reunion Islands, okay, because our Deccan Trap, okay, because Reunion Island is a hotspot of volcanic hotspot, and since when Indian subcontinent was moving from the southern hemisphere to northern hemisphere, at that time period, our the Deccan Trap got the basaltic outflow of lava, okay, from this source of Reunion Islands, and it is a very it is at a lower level, okay, as compared to Maldives and Lakshadweep geographically. So obviously सबसे नीचे Reunion Islands होगा, that we know, and we also know that Lakshadweep is at the topmost level, okay, in the northernmost level, and in somewhere in between there will be Maldives and Chagos. So you can easily eliminate the options, and you need to know that these island nations are there. I'll also show you with the help of a map. Now in news recently, Feni River has been there in news a lot of time. Okay, I don't know whether you have seen it or not, but Feni River is in news, okay, for a lot of time, and this is because, mainly because, if you know, it is because of the ongoing dispute about the water rights. Okay, because we have heard about a lot of water disputes in the southernmost rivers like Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri. Okay, वहाँ पे हम लोग बहुत, because those rivers are not perennial in nature. 12 months there is no water. It is solely dependent on the monsoon water, okay, coming from the monsoon rainfall during 4 months time period. Okay, please comment in the comment section. Monsoon time period is for 4 months, but what are the months? Okay, can you tell me which are the months of monsoon in India? Okay, it's from June to September. June, July, August, September. Okay, these are the months. This can be also asked in the exam. So monsoon, but the North Indian rivers are non-perennial, perennial, okay, because वहाँ पे 12 महीने पानी रहता है, और इसलिए we don't hear about water disputes in the rivers like Ganga, Brahmaputra. But Feni is an exceptional in the northern part of a country, okay, which starts from South Tripura district. Okay, so you please see this very, very carefully. Feni is actually originating from Tripura. Okay, it is a part of our northeast, and then it flows into Bangladesh. Okay, and it flows through a town called as Sabroom town. All right, and then enters the Bangladesh. Okay, and it discharges into Bay of Bengal. So this you need to know about the Feni River कि इसका origin कहाँ पे होता है, त्रिपुरा में होता है. ठीक है, वहाँ पे आपको ऐसे ही कंफ्यूज करने के लिए वहां पे they can give you the option like that this river is getting originated from West Bengal, okay, and then it is entering in Bangladesh, but that will be a wrong statement, obviously. All right, then very well, but this is not a very big news, but let's now move ahead with the Suez Canal. Okay, now this is, we can definitely expect a question. Okay, we can definitely expect a question from the Suez Canal. This can be most important question in the upcoming exam. Okay, because this was in news, and it is always in news, in fact. Okay, there was a ship blockade, okay, in the Suez Canal a few months back, so definitely you can expect a question from the Suez Canal. Now you also need to be very thorough with the map of the Suez Canal. Okay, I'll try to show it to you with the map of a Suez Canal. Now first of all, you need to know that the Suez Canal is not a natural canal. Okay, it is an artificial canal. Actually, it is a man-made canal. So कभी-कभी statement में वही दे देगा कि Suez Canal is one of the oldest natural canal. For example, I'm just making a statement, but it will be a wrong statement, obviously. All right, because Suez Canal is an artificial sea level waterway, okay, and which is present in Egypt. Now this is very, very important for us to understand that Suez Canal क्या है, ये आपका कौन से country में है? It is in Egypt. Okay, now in Egypt also, when I'm talking about Suez Canal, I think I already have a map for you. Okay, Mumpy is writing screen is blur. Is the screen blur? Can anyone tell me, is the screen blur on your side? But I think, Mumpy, your internet is weak. Okay, your internet may be weak, and that is why your screen is coming as blur. Is it same for everyone? Can you please tell me, is it same for everyone? Okay, those whose screens are blurred, I think you have an internet problem. Okay, your speed is slow, or your data is exhausted. Okay, so you need to have a good internet connection. Okay, so it's a mixed response that is coming. Okay, because for some it is not blurred, for some it is blurred. Okay, but so some Trishna is writing it's full clear. Okay, many are writing it's fine. So it all depends on your individual data. Okay, and your connection speed and everything. Okay, all right, thank you everyone. Now let's move ahead. Okay, so we are talking about the Suez Canal, right? And we have a map of Suez Canal also. Okay, we'll today we'll study through a lot of maps. Okay, and this is also a map of Suez Canal. Let me just take out a map. Okay, now you can see here that this is the Suez Canal. Okay, this is the Suez Canal, and it is joining your Mediterranean Sea. Now this is the Mediterranean Sea. Okay, this is the I request everyone to have a strong data package. Okay, so that your sessions will become clear. Now this is the Mediterranean Sea, and this is the Red Sea. Okay, this is the Red Sea. Okay, and which is getting connected with the okay, all right. I'll not check the comments, otherwise I get a bit distracted with the comments. Okay, so let me just move ahead with the session now. So your Suez Canal is getting connected with the Mediterranean Sea and your Red Sea. Okay, let me just take a help of all right, of a map from the internet. Okay, so you can see here. Now this is the Suez Canal. Okay, this is the Suez Canal somewhere here, and this Suez Canal is actually connecting your Mediterranean Sea and Red Sea. Now this is the most simple question that can be asked in the exam, that Suez Canal is connecting which two seas. Okay, now for example, they might give you a option between Mediterranean Sea and Persian Gulf, Mediterranean Sea and something Indian Ocean. Okay, but the specific answer will be that it is connecting Mediterranean Sea with the Red Sea. So you need to know at least this basic information. Okay, now since see in this map, when I have opened up this map, one thing that I see here is that, okay, one thing that I see here, that see, now this is how you need to observe when you are studying the maps. Okay, now we see a lot of water bodies here. Can you see a lot of water bodies here? Okay, for example, we have the Persian Gulf, about which we already talked a few minutes back, right? Then we have the Red Sea, then we have the Mediterranean Sea, then we have the Black Sea, and then we have the Caspian Sea and Aral Sea. Okay, we have this. Now you see here that first of all you have to know about the bordering nations. Okay, for example, if we talk about the Red Sea also, because in UPSC once they had in fact asked you, they had given a few of the options here. All right, I hope everything is going fine. Okay, all right, so okay, everything is fine. All right, so UPSC had asked the question that they had given some options like Syria, Jordan, Israel, okay, Lebanon. Okay, they had given these options, and they had asked, this was a question in 2017, that which of the following countries do not share a border with the Mediterranean Sea? And the answer was Jordan, because it is a landlocked country. You can see here. Okay, Jordan is quite. I'll just zoom in a bit. Okay, so that it is clear to you. So you can see here that Jordan is a landlocked country, okay, and it is not touching the Mediterranean Sea here, okay. So similarly, when I was showing you this diagram, you can see here that there are many water bodies. You need to be very, very thorough with these water bodies here. Sometimes they might even ask you that arrange the water bodies from north to south or from west to east. Okay, so definitely you need to have a, now when you do the vision, when you capture it in your vision memory, it actually becomes very easy for you to remember. Okay, so please see that Mediterranean Sea will be the most westernmost body. Okay, then it will be the Black Sea. If we go from west to east, first it will be Mediterranean Sea, then it will be Black Sea, then it will be the Red Sea. Okay, then it will be your Caspian Sea, okay, then it will be your Persian Gulf, and then it will be your Aral Sea. Okay, so this is the order from west to east. You can just note it down if you have a copy and a pen, that from west to east it will be Mediterranean, then Black Sea, then it will be Red Sea, okay, then it will be your Caspian Sea, then it will be your Persian Gulf, and then it will be the Aral Sea. Okay, now if they ask you, once UPSC had also asked a very simple question, that Aral Sea is between the which two countries, and you can see here now Aral Sea is one of the like dying seas, okay, and this is also the your a sea which is between the two countries, that is your Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. We'll also talk about this Central Asian countries today, okay, along with its headquarters and sharing of border with Afghanistan and China, which is very, very important. Okay, so you see here that you please note down here that Aral Sea, because this was a question already asked in UPSC, and APSC can simply pick up this question from the past year questions. All right, and we have already past year questions solved of UPSC of last 25 years, which is available in our application. You can check it out in our app. Okay, you can just download. The links are already present in the description box. So Aral Sea, what we are talking about is between two countries, that is your Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. You need to remember this at least. This minimum fact, it has already been asked in the exam. Okay, then we have Caspian Sea. The Caspian Sea is also a very, very important one for India. Now, I think you all know about that why is Iran and Afghanistan and the Chabahar port. Chabahar port is somewhere here and Gwadar port is somewhere here of Pakistan, okay, which is being developed by China, and Chabahar port initially it was being developed by India. Okay, now why this Chabahar port is very, very important for India is because India is working on a north-south transit corridor. Okay, India is working on a north-south transit corridor, and as China is working on CPEC, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, India is also working with a north-south transit corridor, and which is going through this Chabahar port, and India wants to travel through Iran, okay, then it will reach here, okay, it will reach here, and then it will travel through, navigate through the Caspian Sea, then reach Russia, and then it can go to entire your European nations, right, and also capture the important resources and minerals of this Central Asian part, which is very, very rich in minerals and natural gas and resources. Okay, so India wants to use this Chabahar port to come to this portion, okay, and then navigate through Caspian Sea and then go from Baku, which is the capital of Azerbaijan. Okay, so Caspian Sea also becomes very important from India's perspective. And if you see that which are the countries bordering Caspian Sea, this is a very, very important one, because we have already seen about Persian Gulf. Now next that we need to talk about is about the bordering nations of Caspian Sea. If you see that on the top side it is Kazakhstan, and then we have Russia, okay, and below we have Turkmenistan. We have 5 Central Asian countries, okay, out of which we only 2 are sharing the border with Caspian Sea. One is Kazakhstan and one is the Turkmenistan, okay, and then we have the entire Iran and then Azerbaijan, okay, and these are the bordering countries of Caspian Sea. Okay, so you see Russia, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, Iran and Azerbaijan. Okay, so these are the bordering nations of Caspian Sea, and please try to remember the capital of Azerbaijan, that is Baku, because it is also part of the north-south transit corridor of India that I have already told you. Okay, so please try to remember this. Okay, I hope you will remember this. All right, so Caspian Sea becomes very important. Once UPSC had asked a very easy question, I think in 2014, that Turkey, okay, Turkey is between which 2 water bodies? As simple as that. They had asked this, and they had given options like Caspian Sea and Mediterranean Sea, Black Sea and Red Sea, Mediterranean Sea and Persian Gulf. Okay, they had given similar kind of options like that, and you can see here that Turkey, now this is all about your observation. The same question can be picked up by APSC also. Turkey is situated between Black Sea and Mediterranean Sea. Please try to remember this. Okay, and now in this Mediterranean Sea, you can see this very important island nation, that is your Cyprus island nation. Now this is a very important one for India, because recently India has signed a double taxation avoidance agreement. Okay, if you know, India has double taxation avoidance agreement with Cyprus, then with Mauritius, and also with Singapore. Okay, all these 3 countries, India is having a double taxation avoidance agreement. Now what is double taxation avoidance agreement and how it is related with money laundering? Okay, now we'll not discuss that because this is not an economics class. Anyways, so but you need to know that Cyprus is also an island nation of Mediterranean Sea. Sometimes they might give you some island nations and the sea's name, and they might ask you to match the following, or they might ask you that which of the following are correctly matched and which of the following are not correctly matched. Okay, so they can give you, for example, we have two important islands like Spartley and Paracel Islands in South China Sea. I'll also talk about those islands in today's class itself. Okay, so those are in South China Sea. So you need to know, okay, because match the following can definitely be a question of important islands, and these islands are always in news, and that is why it is very, very important for you to know in which seas these island nations are present. All right, so this is what you need to know. Now we were talking about the Suez Canal, okay, and let's move back to the Suez Canal part. And the Suez Canal is an artificial one. We all know that, okay, it is not a natural one. Please try to remember that. It is very, very important for all of you to understand. Okay, now this is connecting the Mediterranean Sea to the Red Sea, we have already seen, and through the Isthmus of Suez. Okay, through the Isthmus of Suez. Okay, and what is the meaning of isthmus? I hope you know that. Okay, the difference between isthmus and strait and gulf. Okay, what is a strait? If I ask you what is a strait, I hope you know the meanings, right? Anyways, so this is also it offers vessels a direct route. Obviously, you can see that this Mediterranean Sea is connected to the North Atlantic Ocean. Okay, in the through the European countries. So directly the North Atlantic Ocean can be connected to Indian Ocean through the Suez Canal. Okay, North Atlantic to Mediterranean to through Suez Canal, through Red Sea to directly to your Indian Ocean. Okay, and I hope you know where is Strait of Gibraltar, because Mediterranean Sea and Atlantic Ocean is connected through Strait of Gibraltar. Okay, you should be knowing that because it is a very important one. Okay, straits के ऊपर बहुत सारे questions आते हैं. We can cover the straits also, but later on. Then this canal was also part of the Silk Road. Okay, the earlier part of Silk Road. Now it was initially started, since it was in news, so APSC, since it sometimes it asks a lot of factual questions, so you need to know about the years. Okay, so in 1858, Ferdinand de Lesseps, okay, he had formed the Suez Canal Company for the express purpose of building the canal. Okay, and the canal extends from Port Said to the Port Suez or Port Tawfiq at the city of Suez. Okay, so you can see here that this portion, okay, this portion will be having the Port Said. Okay, so Port Said is here, and this one will be your Port Suez or Port Tawfiq. Okay, and this is also the city of Suez here. All right, so you need to know this, very, very important. Okay, so this is about the Suez Canal, and it was opened in 1869, 17th of November. This is a very important date for all of you to understand. Okay, 1858 the construction had started, and 1869 your 17th November. Okay, 1869 it had opened up for traffic. All right, so this is very important news that you need to definitely know. All right, and then I need to show you one more thing about this. Okay, I need to show you one more thing. You please come to this map. Okay, so this is the Suez Canal. This is the Port Said. I hope you are able to see this. It is a very important topic for upcoming exam. Okay, this is the Port Said. Okay, and this is the Port Suez or the city of Suez. Now you see this, that this is entire part of Egypt. Okay, ये जो पूरा आपको दिख रहा है, this is entire, this Cairo is the capital of what? Cairo is the capital of Egypt. Okay, and this is the Mediterranean Sea. So you do not be confused that Suez Canal is somewhere, it's in Asia. Okay, but a very, very important thing for all of you to know here. Okay, very, very important thing for all of you to know here, and that is that, let me just tell you. Okay, please do not miss this part. Okay, that this Sinai Peninsula, if you can see this, okay, this Sinai Peninsula, this is a part of Asia. Are getting it? This is a part of Asia. This is the only part of Africa nation which is in Asia. Okay, this is the continuity, or you can say that this land is continuity between Africa and Asia continent. Okay, because Africa and Asia is separated by this rift. Okay, there is a rift of great, and which gets continued to African Great Rift Valley. Okay, so ये जो rift है, this is is separating Africa from Asia, and so you can see that Red Sea is also separating what, Africa from Asia. Sometimes this kind of statements can be put forward in the questions. Okay, so this Red Sea is separating Africa from Asia, but this Sinai Peninsula, okay, so where is this Sinai Peninsula? It is a part of Egypt. Okay, it is a part of Egypt, but it is in the Asian continent. Okay, so this is the irony. You might get confused, but this part of Africa is actually in the Asian continent. Okay, and this Sinai is under the capture of Egypt, that is an African country, not Asian country. Okay, and this Suez Canal is directly entering through Gulf of Suez. Okay, and there is one more Gulf. Okay, I hope you understand the meaning of Gulf. There is Gulf of Aqaba. Okay, this Gulf of Aqaba is actually getting connected with what? Israel and Jordan. Okay, so they are having an access to Red Sea. But if they ask you that which are the countries having a border with Red Sea, definitely Israel and Jordan will not be the answer for that. Okay, because they are separated from Red Sea through Gulf of Aqaba. All right, so you need to be very sure about that. Anyways, we'll be discussing about it. Okay, so you see that Gulf of Aqaba is here, very, very important because it was in news, and you need to know Sinai Peninsula, which is a part of Egypt. Okay, and it is a part of Asian continent, but politically it is a part of Africa. Okay, and Port Suez, okay, it's getting connected with the Suez Canal to Port Said in Mediterranean Sea. So Port Said kahan pe hai? Mediterranean Sea mein hai. All right, and this portion is also very much in news. We'll come to it separately in today's class itself. Israel and Gaza and Jordan and everything, Syria. Okay, we'll discuss about it sometime later, but please focus on here as of now. So I hope you are very clear about this Gulf of Aqaba and Gulf of Suez, which is connected with Red Sea. All right, now let us move back. We also have about the different countries which are sharing the border, okay, with the different seas, important seas. So first, let us talk about the Red Sea. Okay, let us talk about the Red Sea. So there are 6 countries. We have already seen the countries sharing the border with Caspian Sea, the Persian Gulf. Now let us focus on the Red Sea. We have countries like Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Egypt, Sudan, Eritrea, and Djibouti. Okay, now this is very, very important for all of you to understand. All right, let me just show you a map. Just give me 1 second. All right, so you can see here, we can take help of this map. Okay, so we will take help of this map. Red Sea and its bordering nations. Okay, Red Sea and its bordering nations. You please see this map. Let me just zoom in for you. So this is the Red Sea, and you can see the bordering nations. Saudi Arabia is bordering with Red Sea. Below we have Yemen. Okay, this is a part of Yemen, and Red Sea is ending here. Okay, so Jordan and Israel is not sharing border with Red Sea. I've already told you, because it is separated by this Gulf. Then we have Egypt sharing border with Red Sea. Then we have Sudan. This is an African country. Okay, please mind this. Sudan is an African country, and it is sharing border with Red Sea. Then we have this small country of Djibouti. Okay, we have this Djibouti and Ethiopia. Okay, so these are the countries which are sharing the border with the Red Seas. Okay, let me just tell you, there is a small mistake here in this map. Actually, Ethiopia will be below, but there should be a small border, which is the Eritrea. Okay, and this portion, which is called as the Horn of Africa. Okay, let me just show it to you with the help of an Africa map. I have an Africa map to show you in our notes itself. So let me just, okay, you see, this is a proper diagram. Actually, I was actually finding this one. So you see here that this is the Red Sea, okay, and this is Sudan, and this portion I was talking about, this is Eritrea. Okay, this is Eritrea, and Ethiopia is here. Ethiopia is a landlocked country. Please be very, very clear with this. Ethiopia is a landlocked country, and this small portion is your Djibouti. Okay, it is Djibouti, and this is also called as Horn of Africa. It looks like a horn, right? So this horn is actually your Somalia. Okay, so this is your Somalia, and this is the Gulf of Aden. Okay, so this small is Gulf of Aqaba, this is Gulf of Suez, and this is Gulf of Aden. Gulf means which where the water from the main source of body enters, okay, and surrounded by three sides. So this is the Gulf of Aden, and then this inside portion is Red Sea. It is connected to Suez Canal through Gulf of Suez to Mediterranean Sea. So the bordering nations will be your Saudi Arabia, Yemen. Oman is not there. You can see Oman is actually sharing border with what? Persian Gulf. This is the Persian Gulf we have already talked about. Okay, and then we have this Red Sea. Then this is Eritrea. Okay, Ethiopia is not sharing border with any of the seas, because you see here that Ethiopia is a landlocked country. थोड़ा सा जगह के लिए उनको ये sea access नहीं मिला. So Ethiopia is a landlocked country, and this small portion is Djibouti, it's a different country, and this is the Horn of Africa, which is your Somalia. Okay, so Eritrea, Djibouti, Sudan, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Yemen. These 6 countries are actually sharing the border with your Red Sea. Okay, so I hope you are very comfortable with this. Then as I already told you about the straits, okay, let me also show you the important strait. Now, what is a strait? It is a small connection of a stream of water channel, okay, which separates 2 bigger landmass and connects 2 bigger water bodies. Okay, so this is the strait, and this is the Bab-el-Mandeb Strait. Okay, so this strait was Strait of Hormuz. Okay, it was separated between Iran and Oman, and this is separated between Djibouti and Yemen. Okay, or some portion of Eritrea also. Okay, so this is Bab-el-Mandeb Strait. Okay, you can see here that there is a strait here, and it is also separating Gulf of Aden with the Red Sea. Okay, so I hope you are very clear with this portion of Red Sea. If any question comes in the future, you can definitely mark your answers correctly. Okay, so we have talked about Gulf of Aqaba, we have talked about Sinai Peninsula, we have talked about Gulf of Suez, Bab-el-Mandeb Strait, Gulf of Aden. So we have talked about everything, and please see that Red Sea is also part of the Great Rift Valley that we have already talked about. Okay, and these are the bordering nations of the Red Sea. And for your details, I've also given you the bordering nations of the other important seas like Black Sea, Caspian Sea, which we have already discussed. Okay, and you can also take a look on the Black Sea: Romania, Bulgaria, Ukraine, Russia, Georgia, and Turkey. Okay, so this is the Black Sea. You can see here that these are actually sharing the borders with Russia, then Georgia, Turkey, Bulgaria, Romania. Okay, so you can see this, the Black Sea is also very, very important. Okay, and Black Sea is also connected to the Mediterranean Sea. Okay, so this is very important news for all of you. All right, so we have also marked the seas. You can see here that the Caspian Sea, then the Aral Sea, then the Black Sea, Mediterranean, Red Sea, and Persian Gulf. These are very, very important topics for your upcoming exams. Okay, now one homework I'm giving you, please refer to the Baltic Sea also. Okay, the Baltic Sea is actually in the European part. Okay, and it is enclosed by Denmark, Estonia, Finland, Latvia, Lithuania, Sweden. So you can just see once. Okay, not very important from exam perspective, the Baltic Sea, but you can always refer to it once, okay, for your exam perspective. I hope you'll do that. All right, I hope everything is going fine and you all are with me, right? So let's move ahead with the class. Okay, now there's river. Umngot River was in news, so let me talk about it very quickly. It is, can you comment in the comment box that this Umngot River is in which state? It is in Meghalaya. Okay, it is in Meghalaya, and it is considered as India's cleanest river. Okay, so it is located where? It is located in Meghalaya. Now, it was in news because some disputes are going on regarding dam, building up of a dam in this river. Okay, then an important location which was in news is about the Depsang Plains. Okay, now what is this Depsang Plains? I hope you know this, because these are portions or disputed areas what China is claiming, and you know that last year during lockdown also, India-China land border LAC on line of actual control, there was a lot of disputes happening, and these places were actually in news, the Depsang Plains, the Galwan Valley. Okay, so you need to be very thorough that this Depsang Plains is a part of the Aksai Chin area. Okay, it is a part of the Aksai Chin area. You might get confused if they give you options like that, whether it is a part of Aksai Chin, or whether, for example, it is a part of Siachen Glacier, okay, or whether it is a part of something else. It can give you some other options to confuse you. So you need to be very clear that since Depsang Plains is a disputed area, China has claimed about it, and it is in the part of Aksai Chin, which is actually sharing the border with line of actual control. Okay, and this Galwan Valley is also part of Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region, which China is claiming to be its part. All right, so you need to be very thorough about the Depsang Plains and the Galwan Valley. Okay, then this particular gas field, ये बहुत न्यूज में रहता है, ठीक है, because ये जो फरजाद बी गैस field है, this gas field is actually in Iran. It is located in Iran. Okay, and यहाँ पे since 2000, okay, since 2000, that means 21 years say ONGC Videsh Limited, okay, that is our oil and natural gas corporation, our Indian PSU, उनका जो विदेश पार्ट है, okay, foreign part जो है, okay, of the organization, so they have been exploring for oil and gas in this gas field since 2000. And recently since Iran and India relationship went to a bit far from each other, okay, and this was mainly because India went more close to US after US has imposed the sanctions on Iran, okay, during Donald Trump's time period. But now again we are talking about the Joint Peace Comprehensive Action Plan, okay, what Iran signed with P5+1 countries during Barack Obama presidency, okay, tenure. So again, if US becomes a bit lenient with Iran, obviously India-Iran relationship will again improve, and we still have chances of getting this gas fields. And for example, the Chabahar port, if India can diplomatically negotiate with Iran in a more better and diplomatic manner. All right, so this Farjad B gas field has gone out of India's hand, and recently it has been given to one of the domestic organization of Iran to do the exploration. So it is a loss for India again. All right, okay, so in news we recently saw, I think this was in the month of March and April, okay, there is a talk about the lithium triangle, okay, about the lithium triangle. So these three countries are actually very famous for lithium mining. All right, so you can see here, these are the South American countries like Bolivia, Chile, and Argentina. Okay, so you need to be knowing that this is also known as a lithium triangle. So please do not get confused. अगर कभी exam में lithium triangle के बारे में पूछ देता है, so immediately go to your South American countries like Bolivia, Chile, and Argentina. I hope you'll remember this. Let us now cover some of the important islands of Indian Ocean. Okay, this is again a very important one. So we know that we have already seen some of the important islands of Indian nation, right? Indian Ocean, right? So let us see a few more. Now this Seychelles, okay, and Maldives, these are very, very important island nations in the Indian Ocean, geostrategically in the 21st century. So you need to be very thorough with these island nations. Diego Garcia is a very, very important one. In fact, UPSC has already asked on a question on Diego Garcia, okay. So you need to know that these island nations, because I already told you, if APSC will ask a question, they will simply give you a mad stuff following between islands and important seas, okay. So Seychelles, then we have Maldives, we all know, right? Lakshadweep, we know. Then Mauritius is also there somewhere here, okay. Then Mauritius is here, okay. Then we have the Assumption Island. Assumption Island is also very important. We have Agalega Islands, Diego Garcia, and Madagascar, we all know, okay, so which is a part of Africa again. So these important nations, okay, island nations, are very, very important geostrategically. So please try to remember this. Agalega is in Indian Ocean, Assumption is in Indian Ocean, Seychelles is in Indian Ocean, Maldives is in Indian Ocean, Mauritius we all know, Madagascar, okay. And some time back we also talked about Reunion, if you remember, okay. Reunion will be somewhere here, okay, and Chagos will be somewhere here. So all these islands are a part of Indian Ocean. Please try to remember the names and associated with the Indian Ocean. All right, so next, one more island that was in news was about Domera Islands, okay, Domera Islands, and it is a part of your Bab-el-Mandeb Strait. That is, just now we saw, okay, and near Djibouti, okay. So it will be somewhere here, okay, very very close here, okay. This is your Domeria Islands, okay. Now this is near the Bab-el-Mandeb in the Red Sea. Since we are talking about islands, so since it was in news, so I've just mentioned it to you. It can be very important for UPSC, but not very important for APSC perspective about the Domeria Islands. So you can skip if someone is giving only APSC. All right. Now sometimes you might get since you are doing the map based classes, okay, so sometimes you might get questions to arrange for example your important places from west to east and east to east, okay. So suppose they might also give you on the important seas, because South China Sea is very much in is news, okay, we all know about this, we'll talk about it sometime later, okay. Then Gulf of Thailand is also very very it is in news because of the new channel being made up, okay, the Kara channel, we'll talk about it sometime later. Lakadip Sea is in news, okay, because of Chinese influence, and also India developing a scheme, okay, to connect the through the Sagar Setumala, okay, through the Pamban Strait. So we'll talk about it. And then Gulf of Aden, obviously it was in news because of the Red Sea, okay, and the Suez Canal, your news, okay. So you see here that if you are being asked to arrange it from west to east, Gulf of Aden, you know here, okay. So please try to plot your visions, imagine the locations, okay. We have just talked about Red Sea, we talked about Gulf of Suez, Gulf of Aqaba, and then Gulf of Aden here, okay. And then we have the Arabian Sea, then we have the Lakadip Sea, okay, then Bay of Bengal, and this entire is the Indian Ocean, and this is the Gulf of Thailand, and this is the South China Sea, and then we have East China Sea here, and then down we have Banda Sea. But Banda Sea is not very important, but still at least you try to remember that Gulf of Aden is in the most western part of Indian Ocean, okay, and South China Sea or Banda Sea or East China Sea is on the most eastern, but this is a part of Indo-Pacific, okay. South China Sea is not a part of Indian Ocean, all right. But Lakadip Sea is a part of Indian Ocean, Arabian Sea we know, and somewhere here also we have what, we have the Andaman Sea, okay, we have the Andaman. So you might get a question just to arrange from west to east among the smaller seas of Indian Ocean altogether, okay. So you need, please be very specific with the seas, okay, if you are being asked to arrange it from west to east, all right. Then please do read about two important rivers, one is the Tigris, okay, and one is the Euphrates, okay. Now these are a part of the Mesopotamia civilization, we all know about it, right. And Tigris and Euphrates, these are some international rivers but very very important, and they empty in Persian Gulf that we just talked about, right. So they flow through Turkey and Iraq, okay. This is very very important for you to understand. So please try to see and associate the river name with the country's name through which they are flowing, okay, because now since they were in news, that's why I've talked about, but otherwise there are n number of rivers in the entire world. Now this 30 days, this is a capsule course, okay. Please do not expect me to talk about everything, because this is not about discussing the entire syllabus. If you want to know about the entire syllabus, please join our prelims course, which is available in the app, okay, which is having 500 video lectures, okay. So वहाँ पे आपको सब मिल जाएगा, but यहाँ this is only a capsule course, we are only talking about the most probable questions here, so we are not covering the entire topic or entire syllabus here in this capsule course, okay. So Tigris and Euphrates I have just mentioned. We can even talk about Amazon River, we can even talk about Nile River, but we are not going into that as of now, okay. But Mekong you need to know definitely, because Mekong is very much is in news, and Mekong is a transboundary river. Transboundary means a river which flows between countries, okay, and it is not located only within one country, okay. So it is a transboundary country in the Southeast Asia. And कभी कभी आपको simply question पूछ लेगा, सवाल पूछ लेगा कि Mekong flows through India or not, because you must have heard about Ganga Mekong collaboration, okay. And Mekong is not flowing through India, and it has been again already asked in UPSC 2015 or 16, you can just check it out, okay. UPSC ने यही question पूछ लिया है कि Mekong flows through India or not, okay. And APSC can definitely ask this question again, and Mekong हमेशा news में है, ठीक है. So Mekong is flowing through from the Tibetan plateau. You see कि Tibetan plateau से ही originate होता है, जहां से हमारे ब्रह्मपुत्र भी originate होता है, ठीक है. But it enters then through China, okay, through Myanmar, Laos, थाईलैंड, कंबोडिया, वियतनाम. सो जब हम साउथ ईस्ट एशिया कंट्रीज के बारे में डिस्कस करते हैं, तो वहां पे आपको पता है कि पहला ऊपर 5 कंट्री, नीचे 5 कंट्री. ऊपर के जो 5 कंट्री वो हो गया आपका म्यांमार, लाओस, थाईलैंड, कंबोडिया एंड वियतनाम, और नीचे का हो गया आपका मलेशिया, सिंगापुर, इंडोनेशिया, ब्रुनेई एंड फिलीपींस, राइट. सो ऊपर का जो 5 कंट्री है साउथ ईस्ट एशिया, सो वो पांचों कंट्री में ही मेकोंग रिवर फ्लो होता है, एंड एक्स्ट्रा कंट्री इज चाइना. ओके, सो चाइना एंड मेकोंग, China intersects, interlinks with the five top Southeast Asian countries through Mekong River. That is how you can remember it. Okay, now let us come to, since we are talking about Myanmar. Okay, so आपको पता होना चाहिए कि this is very simple again कि जो north eastern states है, okay, which of the north eastern states are sharing the border with Myanmar, for example. I hope you know this kind of, these are now easy ones. Okay, now these are now easy ones. For example, if we see this diagram, okay, you see this, that this is the Myanmar. Okay, this is the Myanmar, and Arunachal Pradesh is definitely sharing the border with Myanmar. Nagaland is sharing the border with Myanmar. Manipur is sharing the border with Myanmar. In fact, your Mizoram is sharing the border with Myanmar, and then Myanmar is sharing the border with Bangladesh. But Tripura is not sharing border with Myanmar. Neither Assam is sharing border with Myanmar. Neither Meghalaya is sharing border with Myanmar. Okay, so please be very specific. Please do not get confused with Tripura here, that Tripura is sharing border with Myanmar. No, it is not. Okay, Tripura and Myanmar is not sharing border. Okay, Mizoram, Manipur, Nagaland, and Arunachal Pradesh is sharing the border with Myanmar, the Indian states. Otherwise, China, Bangladesh, India, okay, they are also sharing the border with, okay, for example, if you see this diagram of Myanmar here, since you're talking about Myanmar, you can see here that Myanmar is sharing the border with Bangladesh, India, China. Okay, and then among the other southeastern countries, Southeastern Asian countries, it is also sharing the border with Thailand. Okay, then Laos. Okay, and this too. All right, it is not sharing border with Cambodia or Vietnam. All right, so please see. And one interesting point that you need to mark here is that Laos is a landlocked country. Okay, Laos, this is Laos. Now Laos is a landlocked country. Laos is not sharing border with the South China Sea, neither with Andaman Sea, neither with nor with Gulf of Thailand. Okay, so Laos becomes your landlocked country, and it is sharing border with China. All right, but you see Myanmar, the international border, it is sharing border with China, India, Bangladesh. Okay, this is the small portion that Myanmar shares border with Bangladesh. All right, and in the Southeast Asian countries, it shares border with Thailand, a very big border. Okay, Thailand, and and also with a small portion of Laos, but it is not sharing border with Vietnam and Cambodia. Please try to remember this. Okay, Myanmar is not sharing border with Vietnam and Cambodia, and Laos is a landlocked country that we need to remember here. All right, and Myanmar sharing borders with Indian states, we have already discussed. Please try to remember this, very, very important from exam perspective. All right, now let us move ahead. Now let us move ahead to the portion of Central Asian countries. Okay, let us move ahead to the portion of Central Asian countries. Now, just since we have already completed 1 hour of class, another half an hour to go. Okay, I'll not stretch it to be very long. Okay, don't worry. Now, just comment in the comment section, how do you feel about this class? Okay, please write in the comment section. Let me just interact with you for another 1 minute, and then again I'll be sharing the map based most important topics from map in the next half an hour. Okay, very, very important, and you can by now, I guess, find out that these are some of the most important topics that are recently in news, and we will discuss at least 1,000 pointers like this from various subjects, especially from current affairs and also from static portion. Okay, which are very, very important for upcoming exam. Okay, so but before that, I also need some feedback from all of you, since this is the first class and it is open for all. So I need to know from all of you about your feedback and about your opinion and about your perspective, that how do you feel about this class, which can all, or if you have some criticisms, and which I will definitely welcome and try to incorporate in the next classes or in the next upcoming classes. All right, so okay, so let me just go through some of the feedbacks. All right, Okay, thank you very much for your comments. So I'm sure enough that you are enjoying the class, but only enjoyment is not the purpose to be fulfilled. The the most important purpose that we need to fulfill is that maximum number of questions that we can get or find common in our upcoming exam, that is APSC CCE prelims. All right, so definitely this time we can expect 3 to 4 questions from a map based questions from geography. All right, and I will definitely try to incorporate all the important maps, okay, from the current affairs perspective, and which will definitely give us questions in common in the upcoming exam. All right, so thank you so much everyone for your important and kind words. Let us go ahead for we have another half an hour for today's class, okay, so please be there, and let's now move ahead and discuss. I have many more informations to share with all of you, okay. There is a question: will this Lucent GK be of any help for pre? Yes, Ayushi, Lucent can be a important one for APSC, but not for UPSC. But for APSC, you can see. But again, not everything of Lucent. Okay, there are some specific topics. Some maybe in the next class I can share with you. There are some specific topics which you need to go through. Okay, not everything. Okay, you don't have to read word by word, chapter by chapter, okay, in from Lucent GK. Okay, let's move ahead. We are moving ahead with Central Asian countries, okay, and this is very, very important. Okay, this is very, very important. Please see this, that we have 5 important Central Asian countries. One is the Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, and Tajikistan. Now you have to remember these 5 names, okay? And we also have Afghanistan, but Afghanistan is also called as the heartland, okay? Heartland. It is called as heartland. We'll get it, okay? But we are not talking about Afghanistan right now. We are only talking about the 5 Central Asian countries, okay? We have the 5 Central Asian countries, and these 5 Central Asian countries are your first one is your Kazakhstan, then Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Turkmenistan, and Tajikistan. Now, the important things that you need to see here, first thing that you need to see here is that, please see very carefully, that which 5 Central Asian countries are sharing border with China. Okay, very, very important one. Okay, very, very important one. Which Central Asian countries are sharing border with China? So you see here, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, and this is Afghanistan. Okay, this is the Afghanistan, and so these are the countries. Okay, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and Tajikistan are actually sharing the border with China. But your Uzbekistan, देखो उज़्बेकिस्तान तो बहुत वेस्टर्न साइड में आ जाता है, and Turkmenistan भी वेस्टर्न साइड में आ जाता है, so it is not sharing border with China. Okay, and this Caspian Sea, we have already seen that Kazakhstan and Turkmenistan, okay, with Central Asian countries. So हम लोगों ने दोनों साइड देख लिया है, all right. वेस्टर्न साइड भी देख लिया कैस्पियन सी में, एंड ईस्टर्न साइड भी देख लिया चाइना के साथ, ठीक है. सो चाइना के साथ आपका काजाकिस्तान, किर्गिस्तान, ताजिकिस्तान शेयर करते हैं along with अफगानिस्तान, एंड वेस्टर्न साइड में आपका काजाकिस्तान और तुर्कमेनिस्तान शेयर करते हैं बॉर्डर विद कैस्पियन सी. सो वेरी, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट दैट यू नीड टू नो. ओके, देन this is the LLC. ये already UPSC में आ चुका है. It is a part between Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. Okay, so after that there is a very important lake that is called as Lake Balkhas. Okay, and this is a part of Kazakhstan. Just try to remember this. Okay, then if you talk about the important capitals, okay, now some people ask me that is it important to remember all the capital nations of the world? No, it is not. Okay, but some countries it is. Okay, and for this, for example, for this 5 specific Central Asian countries, you can definitely know about the capitals. Okay, for example, Kazakhstan ka capital is Astana. Okay, Kyrgyzstan it is Bishkek. Okay, then Uzbekistan it is Tashkent Declaration, you know. Okay, Lal Bahadur Shastri's time period. Then Tajikistan we have Dushanbe. Okay, and Ashgabat is the Turkmenistan. Okay, Turkmenistan. So kabhi kabhi aap thoda sa kya kar sakte ho, like you can even develop mnemonics. Even some of my offline batch students will know that I use a lot of mnemonics sometimes. okay, to explain. For example, ताजिकिस्तान के साथ दुशानबे आप कैसे याद करोगे? For example, Taj means Taj Mahal, okay? So you can just imagine that the entire world is India's enemy because of Taj Mahal, okay? And they want to destroy the Taj Mahal, okay? Because the India is known for Taj Mahal, okay? So Taj ke liye there is enemy, and enemy is what? Dushman. So Dushman means Dushanbe, something like that, okay? Obviously pura nahi, everything may not match, but Dushanbe is coming from the word Dushman, and Dushman means enemy, and everyone is enemy of India because of Taj Mahal, that is Tajikistan. So you can simply remember that, okay? And then Kyrgyzstan is Bishkek. Bishkek is coming from the word with biscuit, right? And biscuit, and Kyrg word is coming like when you bite a biscuit, it makes a sound of krik. Okay, so these are like very interesting and funny mnemonics. There is no logic in it, but you can I'm just giving an example. Sometimes when your mind is not working, you can just make some interesting mnemonics and you can remember the things like this. Okay, so when you eat a biscuit, so next time you eat a biscuit, you make a sound like krik, and there is a Kyrgyzstan, and the Bishkek is the capital of that. Okay, and Uzbekistan, you can definitely remember Tashkent because of Tashkent Declaration of Lal Bahadur Shastri's time period. So उसके लिए कोई mnemonic नहीं होने से भी चलेगा, ठीक है? Then Kazakhstan is Astana, okay? So you can remember this, and Turkmenistan you can remember as Ashgabat. Okay, for example, Turkmenistan, again you can make a mnemonic like when the Turks came to India, okay? So they were asking everyone about the caste system, okay? So that is why their capital is Ashgabat, okay? So they are always asking about Abad or something about a topic, okay, about the caste system of India, for example. So when the Turks came to India, what they did, they were asking everyone about a lot of things, okay? That is Bat, okay? Bat. So Ashgabat. So Turkmenistan is so if I ask you what is the capital of Kyrgyzstan, it's what? It's a biscuit, right? Then Tajikistan, it is what? Dushanbe. Then what is Turkmenistan? When Turks come, what they do? They ask many things, okay? They ask many things. So it is Ashgabat when Turks came to India, okay? And then when it came to for example, when it came to, okay, there is a question, okay, I'll come to that question, okay? So when then Uzbekistan, Tashkent, you know, okay? And okay, someone has asked me a question that why Kazakhstan is a landlocked country, it's sharing a border with Caspian Sea, okay? But what's your name? Shreya, see, Caspian Sea itself is a landlocked one, okay? Caspian Sea is not having any border or access with any of the oceans or seas like Indian Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Pacific Ocean. Caspian Sea itself is a landlocked one, okay? So definitely there is of no use, because Kazakhstan kaha jayega? Caspian Sea mein aake, it cannot even go to your Indian Ocean or Arabian Sea or anything else, okay? So that is why it is a landlocked one. All right. Now let's move ahead. We have already discussed these maps. Okay, yes, a very, very important one that we need to discuss right now is about, you need to see this, okay, because this is in news. It's very, very important about the Gulf of Thailand, okay? It's about the Gulf of Thailand and Andaman Sea, okay? And Gulf of Thailand and Andaman Sea, you see here that now there is a very famous canal getting developed, and it is known as Kara Canal, okay? It is a proposed route for this Thailand Canal, okay? And this in news that you can get is this Kara Canal joining which two important water bodies. So Kara Canal will be joining what? Andaman Sea, that is a part of Indian Ocean, and a Gulf of Thailand, which is a part of South China Sea, okay? So this Kara Canal is joining Gulf of Thailand, and it will shorten down the distance through Strait of Malacca, okay? So otherwise you have to go through this, and Strait of Malacca is also a question, that topic that has been already asked in the exam, okay? And it is going through Malaysia and Singapore, this strait, okay? And this will be shortening the distance, this Kara Canal, and it will be directly joining the Andaman Sea with Gulf of Thailand. All right, so I hope you will remember that. Then one part of island that is in news about the Borneo Island, okay? So Borneo Island, बहुत लोगों का confusion रहता है, इसलिए I want to share this with all of you. Okay, so Borneo Island, now this entire is a Borneo Island. ये कहाँ पे है? ये South China Sea के पास में है. And why it is always in news? Because of the disputes of South China Sea. All right. So and there are also some important islands here. So Borneo Island में actually different countries are there, okay? So it is comprising of 3 different countries. That is what you need to know, Okay, so one part see you see that Borneo, यहाँ पे Indonesia का भी एक portion है, what is known as Kalimantan. Okay, Kalimantan, it is a part of Indonesia. Then you have East Malaysia also. Okay, so Malaysia का थोड़ा portion उस side है. Okay, we can see in a different map. Okay, and but the eastern part of Malaysia is in Borneo Islands. ठीक है, so Borneo Island में Malaysia भी है, इंडोनेशिया भी है, और एक कंट्री है, दैट इज अ ब्रुनेई. ओके, ब्रुनेई का बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग सा कैपिटल है, दैट इज अ बंदर सेरी बेगवान. ओके, ब्रुनेई का कैपिटल का नाम क्या है? बंदर सेरी भगवान. ओके, सो यू सी हियर दैट दिस बोर्नियो आइलैंड्स जो साउथ चाइना सी, इसका बगल में क्या है आपका फिलीपींस है. ओके, और नीचे क्या है? इंडोनेशिया है, और वेस्टर्न साइड में क्या है? मलेशिया है. ऑलराइट, सो इट इज अ वेरी वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग आइलैंड, एंड इट इज एक आइलैंड में आप देखो कि एक आइलैंड में तीन तीन कंट्रीज है. ओके, एंड दीज आर ब्रुनेई, Malaysia and Indonesia. This was just an extra information that I gave you. This is not very important from exam perspective. All right, but this island, okay, this particular place again becomes very important from exam perspective, and this is about your Bhasan Char. Okay, Bhasan Char means what? Char means, we all know in Assamese it is a Sor areas. Okay, the Char areas, and these are the temporary island nations. Okay, and यहाँ पे actually you must be aware about the Rohingyas, right? About the Rohingyas and about the refugee crisis. Okay, can you tell me everyone about that? Is India a signatory to United Nations Human Rights Refugee Convention? Okay, जो United Nations के अंदर जो refugee convention है, India signatory है या नहीं है? Please comment yes or no in the comment section. Okay, now इंडिया ने भी रोहिंग्यास को तो टेररिस्ट डिक्लेयर करके निकाल देने का बात किया है, एंड many of the Rohingyas are actually sent to this Bhasan Char island. Okay, it is a very small island nation. Okay, in the Bay of Bengal. All right, and there the Rohingyas have been actually settled up. Okay, and that is why Bhasan Char island becomes important. It was in news, and it is a part of Bay of Bengal, and it is a part of your Bangladesh, and there is a very very important port of Chittagong port. It's a part of Bangladesh, and Chittagong port is also being developed by China, and it is also part of string of pearls theory of Chinese aggression in terms of encircling India from all sides. I hope you are aware about the string of pearls theory, right? And usko counter karne ke liye India is now coming up with necklace of diamond. Okay, that is the counter theory that India has brought up in terms of diplomacy and geostrategy encircling China. Okay, that we can talk up later on when we discuss India-China relationship in our international relations class. But otherwise, you need to know about the Chittagong port. Okay, then there is also Kutsue port. Okay, which is a Myanmar port, which is also developed by China. There is a port of Hambantota port in Sri Lanka, which is also developed by China. Okay, so Gwadar port in Pakistan. Now, sometimes you might get a question about this port names and the country's name. Okay, so many of you have answered yes. India is not a signatory of the Refugee Convention under United Nations. Okay, those who have commented yes, you are wrong. Okay, it is not. India is not a signatory. All right. Now let us move ahead with one of the African nations. Okay, this was since this is very much, Indian Ocean is very much in news. Okay, now why I'm sharing this map of African continent is because not to share the country's name and everything, ये बहुत लंबा हो जाएगा. मुझे इस मैप के थ्रू आपको दो तीन चीजें बताना है. ठीक है, एक तो चीज आप देखिए जो हम लोगों ने ऑलरेडी डिस्कस किया, बट Sinai Peninsula, which is a part of Egypt, but it is actually a part of Asia continent, but politically it is a part of Africa, and Red Sea is separating Asia with Africa. Okay, so please try to remember this. Then we have discussed about all these things in details. Now this is the Horn of Africa. Okay, it looks like a horn, and Somalia is there, and Ethiopia is actually a landlocked country. It is not having any access to sea or ocean here. Okay, now the thing that I need to tell you is that ये जो point है, this point, okay, this is the Strait of Gibraltar, which I had already asked you, and it is connecting your Atlantic Ocean with the Mediterranean Sea. Okay, now the exam is asking about bordering nations of important sea bodies or water bodies. So once they have asked you about this portion of countries, okay, we'll discuss about that. They might even ask you from countries of this portion. Okay, so we have 5 countries like Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, Libya, Egypt, which are sharing the southern bank borders with the Mediterranean Sea. So please try to remember this, and this is actually very easy to remember. It is just metal. Okay, M-A-T-L-E. Okay, just a small mnemonic. It is metal, M-A-T-L-E, and it means Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, Libya, and Egypt. All right, so it is a metal. Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, Libya, and Egypt. Okay, so just remember with the word metal. Okay, M for Morocco, A for Algeria, T for Tunisia, L for Libya, and E for Egypt. So ye metal is the southernmost sharing border countries of Mediterranean Sea. Now we need to know, we have already seen the borders sharing the Red Sea, right? Now we need to know the countries sharing border with Indian Ocean from the African countries. Okay, now this is a very, very important one. Okay, so please see this. Somalia is sharing the border with Indian Ocean. Okay, then we have Kenya, we have Tanzania, we have Malawi, and South Africa, and Madagascar is an island in the Indian Ocean itself. So definitely it will be sharing the border. Okay, so you see here that there are 5 countries: South Africa, Malawi. Okay, sorry, sorry, this is not Malawi. Okay, this green Malawi is actually the internal one. That was this is actually Mozambique. Okay, this country is Mozambique. This is not Malawi. Okay, so please see this carefully. South Africa, then we have Mozambique, then we have Tanzania, Kenya, and Somalia. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5. So 5 countries sharing border with Indian Ocean. कभी ये भी क्वेश्चन पूछा जा सकता है, बहुत इजी क्वेश्चन होगा ये. ठीक है, so South Africa, then Mozambique, Tanzania, Kenya, and Somalia. बाकी आप भूल जाओ फिलहाल. All right. Now very important part that you need to see that देखो Reunion Islands यहाँ पे है, Mauritius यहाँ पे है, Madagascar Islands है यहाँ पे, Europa Island है. ठीक है, then you have the Seychelles, Comoros Islands. Okay, Diego Garcia, हम लोगों ने बहुत सारे island nations अभी तक देख लिया. So please try to remember these important island names. Okay, this is very, very important from exam perspective. All right, so we have covered these things as of now. Let us move ahead with the next important news. All right. So as I was discussing about the Central Asian countries, let me also tell you about the Afghanistan. Okay, now Afghanistan is, let me just check my connection once. Okay, all good. So the Afghanistan is actually known as heart of Asia. Okay, and it is a part of the Istanbul process. Okay, and it was Istanbul process was a part of Afghanistan and Turkey. Okay, to bring peace. So forget about those things right now. But if it is asked that which of the following country is known as heart of Asia, okay, it will be your Afghanistan. Okay, and Afghanistan, there is a place called as Bamiyan. Okay, and it is a part of the Hindu Kush. Okay, because you must be aware about the important mountainous ranges. Okay, coming out from the Pamir North. Okay, coming out from the Pamir North, and you know that from Pamir North, Hindu Kush is going towards Afghanistan. Sulaiman and Kirtha ranges is going towards Pakistan. Himalaya is towards India, and we have Kunlun Shah, Altun Shah, and those kind of mountainous ranges towards China. So Pamir North is actually the central point there. Okay, so Pamir North se Hindu Kush kahan jata hai? Afghanistan. It goes towards Afghanistan. All right, so here what we need to see is that this Bamiyan is actually situated in this Hindu Kush in the central highlands of Afghanistan. और वहाँ पे एक Bamiyan river है, ठीक है, which is also part of the Silk Roads. All right, so just a small information about, because it was in news, Bamiyan, and you need to know about the Bamiyan place. Okay, then since we had already discussed about the Feni River, and Tista River is also very much in news, so please be very thorough with the Tista River. Okay, it is important from your exam perspective. All right, and this Tista River, just give me 1 second. Just give me 1 second. All right, there I can see some issues in the comment section. Just give me 1 second. Oh, all right, it's working fine. Okay, so we had discussed about the Feni River. Now we need to discuss about the Tista River. All right, we need to discuss about the Tista River. Okay, I'll be sharing this file with all of you. Okay, those who want it. So those who are already with us, you will get it in your WhatsApp groups. If you are not there, I think you'll find a description. In the description box, you'll find a free WhatsApp group to join in. Okay, so please do join that WhatsApp group, and you'll get the PDF that I have shared with all of you. Okay, and if you do not get, there is a number in the description box. You can call up that number and you can always get it. Anyways, so the Tista River, again a very very important river. Okay, it is a tributary of the Jamuna River, because you know that Brahmaputra is known as Jamuna in Bangladesh, and it flows through India and Bangladesh. Okay, so it originates in Sikkim. Okay, it originates in the Himalayas near Chunthang in Sikkim, and it flows through the Indian states of Sikkim, West Bengal, through Bangladesh, and enters Bay of Bengal. Now, Tista is very much in news because of dispute again, okay, with Bangladesh. Okay, now these are boundary rivers. Now, when we are discussing about the Tista River, the one thing that I recall here is about the meaning of antecedent rivers. Okay, how many of you know about the what is an antecedent? It's a pure geographical knowledge. Now, antecedent rivers means the river which was originally there. Okay, it was present even before the Himalayas were formed, and once Himalaya got formed, the rivers have cut across the Himalaya and it has appeared on the other side of India. Okay, so it has come from the northern side of Himalaya to the southern part of Himalaya, okay, by cutting across, and it does not change its course. All right, and the rivers which have originated on the northern side of Himalayas, like on the Tibetan side, and those rivers are called as antecedent river. Okay, so antecedent, no, it is not depending on rainfall, Shreya, it is not depending on rainfall. Okay, so antecedent river means okay, the rivers which have come from the northern side of Himalaya and cut across the mountainous range, and then it has appeared in India. And examples, we can talk about Sutlej River. Okay, we can talk about Sutlej River, we can talk about Indus River. Okay, we can talk about Kosi River, which is the sorrow of Bihar. Okay, Kosi, because it always keeps on changing the stream, Kosi. And if you talk about the sorrow of Bengal, it is the Damodar River, because it creates a lot of flood. Okay, Kosi and Damodar creates flood in Bihar and Bengal respectively. So Sutlej, Indus, Kosi, then even our Brahmaputra River, we all know this, right? Brahmaputra River is also an antecedent river. And at the same time, if you talk about Tista, it is not an antecedent river because it has originated on the southern side of Himalayas, which is in Sikkim. Okay, so this is the meaning of antecedent river, just extra information that I have given you. All right, now come to the most important part of today's class, which is very very important, because we all know about the issue happening between Israel and Palestine, right? So this area is always in news, and you can definitely expect a question from this particular area. Okay, so please see very very carefully about the borders and the access to Mediterranean Sea. Okay, so you see here that now, first of all, UPSC had asked one question on Golan Heights. Okay, and Golan Heights is somewhere here. Okay, please see here, and it is between Israel and Syria. Okay, Golan Heights is between Israel and Syria. So you see here that Golan Heights, and this has been already asked by UPSC in 2014, way back in 2014. So it can be again similarly picked up by APSC simply because Israel is in news and Israel is sharing a border with Golan Heights. It's a mountainous region, so definitely you can expect a question here. Okay, then see, since Israel is in news, so you need to know the borders of Israel. Israel is having border with Lebanon. Okay, Lebanon is its capital is Beirut. Okay, Damascus is the capital of Syria. Okay, so Israel is also sharing border with Syria through Golan Heights. It is also sharing border with Lebanon. Okay, then it is sharing border with Jordan. Okay, you can see this long border of Jordan. And finally, Israel is sharing border with Egypt through the Sinai Peninsula. Okay, and obviously with the Palestinian West Bank and Gaza Strip. And Israel is having a direct access in the Mediterranean Sea and also in the Gulf of Aqaba, which is connecting to Red Sea, and finally through the Strait of Bab-el-Mandeb to Gulf of Aden to Indian Ocean, okay, or Arabian Sea. So you see here that Israel is very very important for your upcoming exam. You need to know the borders it is sharing with Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, Palestine, and Egypt. Okay, and it is having access both in Mediterranean Sea and Gulf of Aqaba. Okay, please be very thorough with this Gulf of Aqaba. Okay, but Jordan is a landlocked country again. Okay, Jordan is a landlocked, not a landlocked country, but it is not having an access with the Mediterranean Sea. Why I'm not saying landlocked? Because it is having an access to Gulf of Aqaba, to Red Sea, to finally to Indian Ocean. Okay, so Jordan is not having a connection with the Mediterranean Sea. All right, so please be very very In fact, Saudi Arabia is also not connected with Israel. Okay, so because of this portion, Saudi Arabia is not connected with Israel, so please do not get confused. Iraq is also not connected with Israel. Only Syria, Lebanon, Jordan, Palestine, and Egypt is having the border with Israel. Okay, so please be very, very specific with this. This can be a very important question in the upcoming exam. Okay, I hope. And also please try to see the capitals of Lebanon, Beirut, okay, Damascus, Syria, okay, Baghdad, Iraq, okay, Amman, Jordan. Okay, so please try to see the Tel Aviv of Israel. Okay, and please try to see the capitals of these important countries. Okay, now coming to this part of the Indo-Pacific area. Okay, this is a very, very important part because sometimes these islands can be asked to arrange from north to south or west to east. Okay, so we have already discussed the top portion of your Southeast Asia, and then in the below part of Southeast Asia we have Malaysia, we have Indonesia, we have Borneo, oh sorry, Brunei. Okay, then we have Philippines, and we have Singapore. Okay, so these are the five another Southeast Asian country, because you know that there are 10 Southeast Asian countries which is a part of ASEAN, ASEAN. Okay, Association of Southeast Asian Countries, no, sorry, nations. So you see here that this is the Strait of Malacca, okay, which is connecting Andaman Sea with directly with South China Sea. But now it will be through Kara Channel, okay, Andaman Sea and Gulf of Thailand. And this is the South China Sea, one of the most disputed area where United Nations Convention on Law of Seas are directly getting violated. Okay, so you see here that this particular islands of Indonesia are very much it stays in news also. Also it can be asked in the exam and there are also a lot of seas important, but again for APSC perspective you can skip these seas like Banda Sea, Timor Sea, Arafura Sea, Philippine Sea, Celebes Sea. Okay, not very important, but at least try to remember the important names of the small islands. Like this is your Sumatra Islands. Okay, and Jakarta is the capital of your Indonesia, you should know it. Then Sumatra is on the western part, then we have the Java. Okay, then we have Sulawesi. Okay, we have Sulawesi, and then we have like Irian or like that. Okay, so you can see here, yes, you can say that Andaman and Java Sea is connected through Strait of Malacca, but if you see this side, we can also see that Strait of Malacca is also connecting Andaman Sea with South China Sea. Why I said that is because of the Kara Channel, okay, which is connecting these two areas directly. Okay, you can also, that is also correct, because it is, if you go straight it will connect the Java Sea, but if you turn and it will connect South China Sea. Okay, all right, so moving ahead, you can see here that this island nations like Sumatra, Java, Sulawesi. So sometimes you might be asked to arrange it from west to east or east to west. So just see that Sumatra is on the western part, then Java is there. Okay, then we have the Sulawesi. Okay, or you can see about the Timor also. Okay, here. So just try to keep a idea of it. Sometimes if it comes, you might at least be able to eliminate the wrong options. Then we can talk about the Wakhan National Park. Okay, this is also a very, very important one. Wakhan, if you know where it is again in Afghanistan. Okay, Afghanistan. So please be very sure with this because it was in news, Wakhan National Park. So you need to be very sure about this, about the Wakhan National Park, which is in Afghanistan. Then even in news, it was the Thwaites Glacier has been in news quite a many number of times, and it is also known as the Doomsday Glacier. Can anyone tell me where this glacier is present? It is present in the Antarctica. Okay, it is present in the Antarctica, the Thwaites Glacier. So you need to know about it a bit. All right, so that is what like till now we have seen. We have a few more important topics like about the Park Strait and the Park Bay. Okay, small things about the about your African nation, we have already discussed it. Then these 5 important lakes of America. Okay, like you might be asked to arrange it from west to east. Okay, so you need to know that Lake Superior is in the most western. These are the Great Lakes of North America, USA, right, of the United States of America, and it's also sharing border with Canada. So you need to see that Superior. Okay, Superior is on the western part. Then you have Michigan, then you have Huron, then you have Erie, and then you have finally Ontario. Okay, and these are this is the order from west to east. Okay, Superior, Michigan, Huron, Erie, Ontario. So please see this. Okay, and Superior is the most biggest lake of these 5 Great Lakes of North America. All right, so that is what you need to definitely know about this. And then we have already talked about the Sinai Peninsula. Okay, I've already talked about it, and this is a separate diagram that you can see here. And this is the Suez Canal, this is the Gulf of Suez, this is the Gulf of Aqaba. We have already discussed about it. Okay, and you can see here that this is having an access to Israel, and this is having an access to Jordan. Okay, Gulf of Aqaba, and then they are finally getting connected with the Red Sea. Okay, then this is something we need to discuss about the South China Sea. Okay, and finally it will be over. Okay, so I'll just take another 5 minutes to wrap up, okay, for today's class. Okay, so a lot of things I have tried to share with you. Definitely we can expect 2 questions from today's class. Okay, minimum 2 questions we can definitely expect in the upcoming exam from today's class. Okay, so please try to revise it once. Okay, please try to do revise it, because if you do not revise, you will definitely forget it. Okay, so let's now come back to this diagram about the Adams Bridge, because it is in news. I hope you are following the news, and this is in news because of a project, and India is trying to connect it. Okay, and this is the Park Bay. Okay, this is the Park Bay. Then we have the Park Strait. Then this is the Gulf of Mannar. Okay, this is the Gulf of Mannar portion. All right, and this is the Adams Bridge. Okay, which is historically also it's called as the Dhanushkodi. Okay, you all must be knowing about it. And this is the Mannar Island. It's a part of Sri Lanka. And we have the Rameshwaram Islands also. Okay, which is connected to the mainland India. Okay, and this is the most southernmost tip of India. Okay, and this is the Adams Bridge, which is separating Park Bay, okay, with from your Gulf of Mannar. Gulf of Mannar is actually on this side. Okay, so you need to see this. So there is one island, because islands are very important from exam perspective, and this island called as Kachativu. Okay, it is a disputed island between Sri Lanka and India. Okay, so you need to know about this, because this is also present here. Okay, Kachativu Island, which is in the Park Strait. All right, so I have given you this map in order to see some of the important lakes like Lake Victoria, Lake Malawi. Okay, some of the important lakes which are present in in the African portion. All right. Moving ahead towards the last part of today's class, I had already told you about the Gwadar port, right? It is very much in news, and it is the deepest sea port of the world. Okay, and it is being developed by China, and it is in the Balochistan province of Pakistan. Okay, so please be very thorough, and it is having the access to Arabian Sea. Then we have the Kiakpu. Okay, Kiakpu. I was talking about this, and it is also being developed by China, which is in the Rakhine state. Okay, जहाँ पे आपका रोहिंग्या issue हुआ था, so वहाँ पे भी आपका म्यांमार में जो कियाकपू port is getting developed. You need to know. Then India is developing its maiden deep sea port in Indonesia's Sabang, close to Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Okay, so Sabang port again very much is in news. So in Indonesia now, this is being developed by India, and India is also was also developing the initial phase of Chabahar port, and I believe that India will complete it up. Okay, and we will try to bring the relation with Iran towards betterment. All right, so these are some of the important port names. Then we also have the Chittagong port, which we discussed, which is in Bangladesh. We have the Hambantota port, okay, which is in Sri Lanka. So please try to be very thorough with this important port names like Kiakpu, Gwadar, okay, Hambantota, then we have Sabang, then we have Chabahar, then we have Chittagong, and so on. Okay, and also of India's major and minor ports. Okay, all the India's major ports like Kochi port, Mumbai port, okay, all the Tuticorin, then Chennai. Okay, so which is famous for what? You need to, that is something I can give you homework. Okay, how many major ports India is having, whether it is 12 or 13. What is Ennore port? Okay, which is the first or the biggest corporate port? Okay, so please try to find out those things. Any good atlas will have those information. Okay, so try to figure it out. Then we have one news of Sharda River. Okay, Sharda River is actually the bordering river of Nepal. Okay, and see now Nepal is having what? Suppose if you just follow the mouse pointer, okay, if this is Nepal, okay, so this is what this is the western border, and this is the eastern border, right? So eastern border Nepal is sharing with Sikkim, and western border it is sharing with Uttarakhand. Okay, and on the western border Nepal is having demarcating with India through Sharada River. Okay, so Sharada is river that is separating Nepal with India, and that is basically the Uttarakhand portion. Okay, then we have some places in news like Hagia Sophia and Chora. Okay, so these are part of Turkey, so you need to know about that. Okay, Hagia, in fact, UPSC have already asked the question on Hagia Sophia. Okay, so APSC can directly pick up that question. So please try to be very thorough with this kind of places name, which have, for example, UPSC also asked the question on Swat Valley. Okay, or some when the ISIS issue was going on, so on the places name of Iraq, okay, the city's name of Iraq, UPSC already asked the question. So please try to keep an eye on the important uh, places name where whatever you find in news. All right, now the this capital names, since these places are always in news, okay, so you need to know the capitals of like Damascus. I've already discussed with you. Damascus is the capital of Syria. Okay, then Beirut is the capital of Lebanon. Okay, then Baghdad, the capital of Iraq. Then Baku, okay, very very important, capital of Azerbaijan. Then Ankara, capital of Turkey. Okay, so please try to see this part. Okay, then this Turkey is separated by Black Sea and Mediterranean Sea. That means Turkey is not separated. Sorry, it is in between Black Sea and Mediterranean Sea. That is something you need to know. All right, one last part that is left out is about the South China Sea. Okay, and in the South China Sea also we have two important islands, that is the Paracel Islands and the Spratly Islands. Okay, and there is also a Hainan Island. Okay, and there is a 9 dash concept. Okay, 9 dash concept, which is where China actually, this is a Chinese line of claim. China says that this entire portion is Chinese economic exclusive zone. Now we'll not go into details of that because that will require another half an hour for me to explain. Under the United Nations Convention on Law of the Seas, where China is actually violating, okay, China is actually violating its economic exclusive zone with the rights of other neighboring countries like Philippines, okay, Brunei, then Vietnam, okay, then Thailand, then Malaysia and Brunei. Okay, and what China is doing actually, it is trying to develop artificial islands within South China Sea in order to extend its economic exclusive zone. So this Paracel Islands and Spratly Islands, this is very much in news. So you need to know, as I've already told you, that which island and which country or which uh, sea or ocean it is located. Match the following can definitely come in the exam. So you need to know that Paracel and the Spratly Islands are in South China Sea. All right. So that was all for today. I hope you all enjoyed the class, and you will. I am very much positive, optimistic, and positive about you getting benefited out of this 30 days duration sessions, where we will try to cover up uh, most important probable questions from APSC CCE prelims, upcoming prelims perspective. So if you have any feedback or any suggestions, do let us know. Okay, and do subscribe the YouTube channel and press the bell icon for all the further notifications. And if you have liked our initiative, do share it with your friends so that it maximum of them can get benefited. At the same time, if you want any of our courses, do visit our app. You can all purchase it. We have given it a very very competitive and exciting price. Okay, I hope you all will come out with colorful results in the upcoming time period and make us all proud and your dear ones proud. Okay, so please keep studying, keep on working hard, and remember, this is the time to practice and revise a lot. So never fail to practice and revise. Okay, please try to practice at least 200 MCQs on a daily basis. Give 4 hours, 5 hours to practicing MCQs only from now on, at least till the examination time period, and trust me, you will definitely crack this exam in the very first attempt or in the next attempt itself. All right, so try to attempt a lot of MCQs and try to revise as much as you can. Please minimize your sources and try to maximize your revisions. All right, so with that, I would like to conclude, and uh, uh, I would like to end with one quote that is which says, like, tomorrow is for those who can see it coming and who can hear it coming. Okay, so it means that you need to believe on yourself. You need to have a strong self belief, and you need to have self faith on yourself. Okay, only if you believe that you can crack this exam, okay, if you can see it that you are becoming an officer, if you can hear it internally that you are becoming an officer or you are going to clear this exam, you can definitely crack this exam. But obviously for that you'll have to work hard and you'll have to do some smart work. All right, so let's meet again soon. On Wednesday we are meeting, okay, at the same time at 5 o'clock with another important topics. Till then, keep studying, stay safe, all the best, and bye bye and good night.